Hey, what's really good, everyone? John Maldonado here, and welcome back to Movies on Cloud 9. We've been gone for a little bit, so let's just say Ghostbusters sucked as much as we knew it would. Suicide Squad wasn't as good as it should have been. Lights Out was actually pretty damn scary, and Star Trek Beyond was actually pretty fun. There were some other movies here and there, but let's just go ahead and get right into the show. We have some very special guests for you guys, so stay tuned. Yeah, this is a long intro. Alright guys, I mentioned that I have some special guests for today's show. Stunt performers and actors, and my longtime friend, Cassandra Ebner, and her boyfriend. Is it fiance or husband? Do you guys have any breaking news you want to drop in on the show?
Whoa, way to put us on the spot.
Boyfriend.
He's the director of the very awesome short film Croft. Trevor Addie, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Alright, so what's going on, guys?
Not much. I was going to say hi, it's nice to be on the show until you whip that one at us.
Thank you guys for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. We have several questions to ask you guys, if you don't mind.
I mind very much. I'm actually about to leave, so...
okay, so that's cool. Your boyfriend and I can just hang out and...
You get out of here.
Alright. Okay, so I guess an appropriate first question would be, how did you get started in stunt work?
Trevor, would you like to take it away for your career journey story?
I just absolutely love film and wanted to do anything in film whatsoever, and happened to get a few opportunities working on a few different movies here and there, and met the stunt guys. And the opportunity I got mainly was being a special effects assistant, which means carrying heavy things, not doing special effects in the special effects department on a movie called Dreamcatcher.
I saw that on your IMDb credits.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I ever did, and then was just asking absolutely everyone on the crew, how do I do your job? How do I do your job? And they're like, I don't know, go away. And then the stunt guys were very quick to go, oh, well, yeah, you do this and this, because people say, how do I become a stunt guy? And to say I wasn't aware that stunt guys existed or whatever, I just didn't think that was actually a job that I or anyone actually did. But the information was there, and still didn't know that that was something I could do. But when I moved down from Prince George to Vancouver, I, with those connections, started hanging out with the stunt guys, and got under a few people's wings that showed me the ropes, and worked my way to where I am now.
That's awesome. What about you, Cassie?
Well, mine comes from childhood, obviously, just as yours does too. Mm-hmm. You loved films. I loved superhero movies, mm-hmm. and was really inspired by that growing up. And so I really, really, really wanted to be a superhero, with all of my being. And then one time my parents had to break the news to me that they weren't real. And they said, but actors play superheroes. And I was like, oh, so that's what I want to be. So I grew up thinking I wanted to do acting. And then I started getting into making my own little movies, and I loved editing. And so I loved so many parts of film and didn't know what I wanted to do in film. And then I ended up meeting a stunt coordinator who kind of told me what I needed to do to be a stunt woman. And I was like, dude, you mean we get to do all the cool stunts? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, no way. So then I started working towards that.
That's great.
Thanks.
Now, as far as your training for stunt work, what do you have to do or practice consistently so that you don't forget how to fall or how to fight or how to get stabbed the right way?
I think it's making sure that you're taking care of your body, a lot of it. So making sure you're doing maintenance to make sure you're not injured, making sure that your body's still in shape to do these stunts, because falling over and over, your body gets beat up a little bit. So you just want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to be a healthy human, because you want to be able to do this for a long time.
Right. That makes sense. Kind of like a professional athlete in a way that, you get paid only if you're healthy and you're playing the game.
Exactly.
So now, as actors, you both have also been actors, not just stunt performers. Which this is just kind of a fun question. Like, which actor or actress you respect their career path and you actually wouldn't mind following that career path? For example, like Matt Damon. What did you say? I'm sorry.
I said I know Cassandra's answer, but continue what you're saying. For example, sorry.
Or like, for example, like Matt Damon. You kind of like the way he goes from comedy to drama, to action, something like that. Like that, you respect their career path.
Well, Trevor, why don't you take this one away first?
And say what yours is?
Sure, why don't you say what mine is?
Yeah, that's fun.
Cassandra is a big fan of Jackie Chan and what he's done with his career.
Yes.
In coming from a stuntman and becoming a action icon.
Right.
And I think that is the basis of it. Anything else you want to?
No, you can still be my boyfriend. You're good. You're good.
And as for me, I mean, there's not someone that I think of like, oh, I want to be like that, because I've had the opportunity to do a bit of acting here and there, small, parts that were generally stunt parts that had some dialogue. But I don't really pursue acting in that way where I go, oh, I want to be like so-and-so. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just having a tough time thinking.
What about directors? Because that's kind of like you have a lot of fun directing. What is there a director that you would emulate? Is that okay to ask?
Oh yeah, like a Christopher Nolan type of career path, or
well, it's everyone's career paths are so different. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. For a long time, I was a big fan of Robert Rodriguez because if anyone's ever seen El Mariachi, or which was his first film he made for absolutely nothing, he wrote a book about his experience making the movie called Rebel Without a Crew. He'd make movies with nobody. And that was one thing that in high school, I read his book and I'd seen El Mariachi, and it was inspiring to go, I don't need anyone to make a movie. And that's what he did. And since moving to Vancouver and meeting so many great people that want to collaborate and get involved, like Cassandra and many other people, it makes it that much easier. But the mindset of going, you don't need anyone, just go and do what you want to do, and it doesn't need to be good, just make something, was a really cool, inspiring thing to make me realize that I can chase these dreams. So he's not my favorite director, but as far as a career path of just going, hey, this is a really good way of doing things,
right?
And you don't need anything. That was inspiring.
Yeah, that's actually a really great answer. A little something out of the way here is the Star Wars movies. Let's rank them from best to worst according to you.
Uh-oh. Trevor has like 100 Star Wars shirts. I feel like this might be, yeah.
I think my favorite Star Wars movie is the Ewoks Battle for Endor, which people don't generally include when people say, hey, they're finally doing spin-offs. A long time ago, they did a lot of spin-offs.
Yeah.
And the Ewok movies, and no one ever talks about them. And I think Ewoks Battle for Endor is like probably the best.
Like the Christmas one?
Not the Christmas one, no. I'm sorry. Do you call yourself a Star Wars fan, sir?
I was kidding. No, I'm totally kidding. That was a joke. All right. So, is that your favorite? Is that the top?
That's a pretty good one. But I just wanted to include the idea that there are a lot of other movies out there. Or do you mean just out of the?
Yeah, we can go with the
7 have been released out of that.
We can go with the episodes, but I like that you dropped some knowledge on people there. So yeah, let's go with the episodes and rank them from your favorite to least favorite.
Well, let's go backwards.
All right, let's do backwards.
Let's do worst. I think whichever one, the second of the, I can't even remember the name.
Attack of the Clones.
Was it Attack of the Clones? I like the third one of the prequels because by that time I had accepted that they weren't Star Wars movies anymore. Yeah. I was able to go, okay, I like this movie. This is a different thing, but I'm enjoying this.
Right.
And the first one I was so excited for, and still have that what's that?
The disappointment? Or
not disappointment. I wasn't disappointed. I was still like, yeah, that was really good, wasn't it? I don't know. So the nostalgia of how excited
right.
I to go to the theater and see a new Star Wars movie that was like, you know, our Star Wars movie. So yeah, that one, we're going to have to put those at the bottom of the list, but I think in order of worst to best, it's Attack of the Clones, and then Revenge of the Sith, and then what was the first one?
The Phantom Menace. So
Phantom Menace, yeah. That would be worst to best. And then I think going back to the other end of the list, I think Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie.
Yes.
And then
Approval.
and then I really, really did like the latest Star Wars movie,
The Force Awakens.
And everyone attacked it going, well, it's just the same as the other Star Wars movies. And I go, exactly. Did you like those?
Yeah, there's always the thing where it's like the prequels were too different from the Star Wars movies, and they're like, what the hell is this? And then The Force Awakens, everybody's like, it's too similar. What the do you want, people?
So make up your mind.
Mind.
I sat there in the theater with Cassandra and a crap-eating grin on my face the whole time, and we had a super fan next to us that we didn't know who was leaning forward in his seat the entire time, like with tears in his eyes. It was the coolest thing.
So beautiful. Like, it's the very end. Okay, there's a spoilers alert.
Spoiler.
The very end, when, what's his name again?
Luke Skywalker.
Thank you. When Luke Skywalker's out there.
By the way, you're single now.
I know. When Luke Skywalker is like standing there, the guy like jumped up into the edge of his seat, and he was watching, and he was like, and like breathing really heavily, and like was so excited. Like it was so cool that
it was
movie
awesome.
could make somebody feel that way.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, my best like recent movie going experience, and I go a lot to the movies, was for The Force Awakens, just because it was such a huge group of fans, and I went to the midnight premiere. And just the way that people were cheering for like every time one of the main characters came on screen, and it was like an event. Like I was like, we're watching a movie, but this is like a concert. Like it's awesome.
That's the coolest thing. Like it's so cool that there's movies out there and TV shows right now that are getting people so invested, like Game of Thrones or whatever, and just how invested people are in the characters, and it's so cool to see that happening again.
It is, yeah, especially since like being a big movie fan like myself, I love to talk about movies, so the more popular that they become, and everybody's going to the movies nowadays, even though they're getting a little pricier, but it's becoming a cool thing, and to be social and talk about movies is such an awesome thing nowadays.
Totally. Finally, we have people to talk to again.
Right, exactly. All right, so you weren't done, right?
Oh, well, because we're making this list, yeah. We had the worst out of the other three, and then we'll say that... first be Empire, second, this is in the good. First Empire, second,
Force Awakens?
Force Awakens, thank you.
Am I back on the girlfriend list?
Yeah,
now?
you got
Okay,
back.
cool.
You're not single anymore. And then probably Jedi, and then A New Hope in those orders, because I think A New Hope is great, but because it just starts off everything, I have to put it as last, only because it has to fit somewhere on the list, but they're all great. So
that's kind of your list is kind of similar to mine, except for the prequels. So I kind of have them a little differently. But Cassie, do you want to chime in, or should I say mine first?
You go for it first.
Okay. I will go from worst to best, according to me. Attack of the Clones is my least favorite, which you agreed on, Trevor. Bromance. The Phantom Menace is my second least favorite, which was episode 1. And Revenge of the Sith is, out of the prequels, the one that I like the most, just because it was a little darker, so it was a little better. And Obi-Wan is kind of awesome in that movie. So out of the rest, including the new one, I'm going to go from least favorite to most favorite, and it's A New Hope.
Okay.
Just exactly what Trevor said. It is, one of the good ones, but it's least. Like, you got to put them in some order, right? Mm-hmm. The Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, and then Empire Strikes Back.
Wow, almost the same list.
Almost exactly the same, yeah, except for, like, a switch here and there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, Cassie, you're up.
So I'm just gonna say I like the new Star Wars movie. I don't feel like I have a say in this because I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan.
Well, at
Like I
least
like
at
Star
least
Wars.
Trevor and I kind of geeked out there for a second.
Yeah. No, you guys had enough geek for all three of us, so I think I'll just say I like the new movie.
I'll just say I like the new
Are
movie.
you
Okay,
excited for Rogue One?
I'm so excited.
that looks so awesome.
So stoked.
Have you guys done any stunt work on that?
No, we have lots of friends who did that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so, okay, Cassie, but you're not gonna get it out of it that easy. Pick one. Which one do you like the most out of the originals, and which one do you like the most out of the prequels?
Okay, so I would have to say that because I'm from maybe a younger generation, I didn't exactly get the hype of Star Wars growing up.
Gotcha.
So prequels, they can just all be, I'm going to just go from 1 to 3. Prequels are the worst. And
Yes. I think I saw a shirt that said that once.
you guys are going to hate me for this. And then the other ones I would say are in the middle, but I have a reason for this. I have a really hard time watching old movies. I know this sounds awful, but so when it was the new movie, I felt like I could relate to it more.
I kind of understand.
So it goes like prequels, the other ones, because they were still amazing movies, even though they were old. And then the new one, because I like new movies.
From bad to good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
All
that
right.
count? Can that count?
It does
I'm trying
count.
to bend the rules a little bit.
It does count, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We'll have to take it to outside arbitration to figure out exactly whether that counts or not, but we'll follow up later for that.
Follow-up interview to come.
Follow-up interview just to know whether or not that counts, because this is very important.
I know.
We know.
I smell like a Star Wars marathon coming on this weekend, and you gotta.
We just watched it too, right before the Force Awakens came out. We watched all of them.
Yeah, just a year ago.
Yeah. I try to do that, but I do the what they call the machete order. I just kind of ignore episode 1, and then I watch. I believe the order it's 4, 3, 2, 5, and then 6 and 7, something like that.
Why is that the order?
Because it avoids spoilers. They say like it's the best way to introduce somebody new to watching Star Wars because it doesn't ruin that Luke, I am your father moment if you watch the prequels first, because then you kind of know.
Right.
So somebody just kind of created that, and then they're like, you don't have to watch Phantom Menace. It doesn't matter.
Nothing happens there.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. You see Darth Vader as a little kid.
Hey guys, just because there's a little kid doesn't mean it doesn't count.
There's an app for going to the movies that tells you put in the movie, and then if there's a 3-minute gap where no plot is moved forward,
I saw that.
It'll tell you that your phone will buzz, meaning you can go to the bathroom and you won't miss anything important. And I think the Phantom Menace would be a 2-hour bathroom break where nothing new is learned or moved forward. It's just like, look at this, and there's a talking fish man named Jar Jar.
Oh, God, Jar Jar. I think for that movie, it's the exact opposite. Like, it'll buzz when you should see something. So, like, you can, like, go outside, and then it'll buzz, you come inside, and then you can just...
come in.
So back to your work. I just kind of thought I'd throw that in there. I didn't even know that you were...
Fun. Thank you.
Yeah, no. I didn't know Trevor was a huge Star Wars fan, but look at that.
No, I'm a regular-sized Star Wars fan.
A regular size? Okay, cool. I consider myself a large. Let's see. Let's go back to actually your work. But let's say what's a favorite stunt or scene that you've done?
Any ideas?
You go for it. I'm being very chivalrous right now.
She's like, I gotta think. I'll let you talk.
I'm trying to think. My goodness.
Favorite stunt. It's so hard to say. I'm interrupting you because I'm giving you time to think. I find it hard to say the favorite stunt because there's so many different elements that can go into doing a stunt and different performing aspects or different experiences with the different people. So it's really hard to say what the best one is. But for a good story, I would have to say the getting hit by a car would have been my favorite, probably.
Oh, interesting.
Because it was like my third stunt ever, and we did rehearsals to make sure that I wouldn't freak out when the car was coming at me. And then getting to do that with a bunch of really veteran, talented stunt people was a really cool experience. Like, it was kind of magical in a way, because you're like, this is the job I want to do, and I'm working with such cool people, and I get to do a cool stunt where I get hit by a car, and it was really fun. That would probably be like one of those like memorable moments.
That's awesome. Now, would you also consider that your most difficult one?
No. All I had to do was stand there and get hit by a car and not cry. So it's definitely not the hardest one.
That's a little hard. It's the definitions you put into things, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I find the ones that are the hardest are the ones that you have to make sure that everybody else is okay. Those are
gotcha.
Really nerve-wracking for me. Like, you have to be on point so that everybody else doesn't get hurt. Those are the ones that I think are the hardest, especially because I know everybody cares about people, but I'm a fairly sensitive person, even though I try to pretend I'm not. So having that kind of pressure really is probably the hardest thing that I struggle with in our department.
Well, that's always a thing, is the things people don't see, like when they watch a movie, they see the big action thing and they go, oh, wow. Is the teamwork and the camaraderie that comes together to make that moment happen. So when you talk about your favorite scene, I don't think about any particular action. It's the group of people that you got to work with on this movie or that scene or this TV show that made it really memorable. But when there's some of these things, we don't do anything that's dangerous. We try and reduce as much risk as possible. But there's that possibility because your very good friend is about to do something which could potentially harm them. And you have to be present to watch that. And you might be responsible for some aspect of their safety during that stunt in one way or another, which can be very stressful for everyone. And then when you're the person doing it, you're just like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm ready for this, and I know I'm prepared. And it's almost easier to be the person doing it in some ways, like emotionally.
Yeah.
Because, like
getting hit by the car, for example, was like, okay, I just for me, I just mentally was like, all right, I know it's, it's going to hit and it's not going to feel the greatest, but the poor guy driving the car is probably like, I really hope she's on it for this one,
Because you knew what to do. Like, you don't just get hit by the car.
No,
there's techniques to do it. But
and precautions that we take.
Yeah, you'd been prepared and you were padded up as much as you could. But yeah, the other people involved, it's often difficult for.
And that's the stuff you don't see. It's like I get all the gratitude, but no one knows about all the work behind the scenes that went into it.
Exactly. But it's when you talk about favorite scenes, I think about, stuff, having good times on set, which wasn't even, I worked on a Twilight movie and people are like, oh, you worked on a Twilight movie. I worked on Twilight Eclipse, and we just had so much fun. And so it's like, oh, Twilight was awesome. I saw the movie and I was, it was a Twilight movie, whatever. But the stuff that we did wasn't anything special, but it was, we all hung out in the field for a few weeks and we're fighting fake werewolves and it was fun. And, that's something not most people don't get to do. And the best experience I ever had on a movie was probably last year working on the movie The BFG.
Oh, okay.
And just a great group of people, and we had to solve a bunch of really interesting problems because it was a fantasy. A lot of it was motion capture. Got to use our brains, got to work with Steven Spielberg every day.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
It was just a really positive experience. And the group of us that work together on that now try to work together more often on other things if we can, because it was just really positive. So when you talk about like a scene and you include that, it's like, it makes me automatically think of the entire experience, not just what we were doing in front of the camera. Because we've both worked on some cool scenes in movies and done some cool stunts, but, it's
only as cool as the great environment around you.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. And actually, the BFG was actually really fun. I really enjoyed that movie.
Oh, that's
good.
so good.
Yeah.
Did you end up going with the kid, or did you end up going by yourself?
Would it be weird if I said by myself?
No.
No, not at all.
No, I saw it with my girlfriend, and I convinced her to go see it. She was like, I don't really want to see that, and I was like, come on, it's a Spielberg movie. We should be obligated to see it, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, all right, fine, let's go. And she actually loved it. She ended up crying, and she says it's one of her favorites this year. And I actually really enjoyed it.
That's so cool. Trevor was like part of they were part of every scene, trying to make it all work and trying to like make all the movement of like carrying the little girl around work. Like, so much of that was that stunt team, and it's so cool to see it all put together like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to see like the behind the scenes type of stuff, which is like I love all that.
Yeah, Trevor's probably cool.
Speaking of, actually, I don't have this question written down, but have you ever seen yourself in like behind the scenes footage, like making the movie in anything?
Yeah, a few times here and there. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Lecture Woman and Diner Girl.
Oh yeah, Lecture Woman and Diner Girl. I was in the behind the scenes, and a few other things here and there. I've ended up in a few photos. There was one I was working on Pixels, and there was like paparazzi had posted photos online of like, oh, look at the set of Pixels, and it was a photo of me like holding a big laser gun as stunt doubling for Josh Gad.
For Josh Gad, yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's funny. And there's articles about, look at them filming downtown, and it was a photo of me, and that was funny.
Yeah,
but,
that's cool.
As far as the behind-the-scenes stuff, I definitely, when I'm watching behind the scenes of something I worked on, I'm looking for all my friends and stuff, going, oh, there's so-and-so, hey, there's so-and-so, and I'll send them messages on Facebook, hey, you should see the behind the scenes, you're in there. And then if I see myself, it's cool or whatever, but I really like seeing my friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, Cassie, you're still aspiring to be an actress, or do you enjoy more the stunt aspect of the whole movie business?
I really love both. I love both because they have different aspects that I love. I love that you physically get to act with stunts, and there's so much technical work, and I get to do things that fall under my talents. Mm-hmm. And then acting wise, it fulfills that sort of like childhood dream that I always wanted, and also gets to take me to a place where I'm learning so much about myself and learning so much about others and being really present with people. And it's just this, both of them are nonstop learning. So it's such a beautiful thing for me to do both. But when they actually like the two come together, that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, we were talking about Croft. You were the lead in Croft, and it was obviously directed by Trevor. This was back in 2013, correct?
Yeah. Based
on that type of role, is there another role, maybe a dream role, that you would love to play?
Well, we've actually discussed like some other movie ideas, and there's this role I really want to play in there. But are you meaning like as something that's already out there that I'd want to play again, like an homage?
Yeah, something that you're a fan of, or anything that you would love to portray.
Oh yeah. Have you ever watched the Avatar series, like the Legend of Korra and stuff like that? I
love the original Avatar. I actually have not finished the Legend of Korra. I think I only went like a season and a half through it.
Oh, get past the first season. It's kind of boring. And the second season's kind of boring. The third and the fourth, though, are so good.
Okay, so I will have to do that. But yes, I do love them. And I'm guessing your answer is going to be you would like to be an Avatar.
I would love to be an Avatar. That would be amazing.
And if anyone has ever seen her Instagram and didn't figure that out, they are not paying attention whatsoever.
Yeah, so I should probably say that wasn't much of a guess. I have seen your Instagram.
I'm a pretty open book.
Yeah, but the pictures are really creative and they're fun, so that's pretty cool. But I love the beginning of the Korra series where she's like, I'm the Avatar. And she's like bursting through in her she's like a little brat. I love that scene. It's hilarious. So do you like the Airbender series better than Korra, or?
Oh,
it's kind of difficult because it's like a female lead, right?
it's not the female lead really. It's more so that they're just two different people.
Oh, yeah.
And following their stories is really cool because like Aang is just such this bubbly human, and then Korra's this like very realistic person in these situations, and she's learning from them, and it's a really cool journey to see, and to see somebody realize like she has her dream, she is the Avatar, but how hard it is.
Right.
And it's just so real and honest, and that's the cool thing I like about that one. And then the regular bubbly Avatar has these real situations he has to go through, and how he grows up and learns from them. It's so cool. Both of them are so well done.
Right. I really enjoy the fact that one was kind of growing into the role, and the other one was kind of dealing with the role.
Totally.
And the fact that Aang was as a young kid, everything that he had to deal with, that he wasn't mentally prepared. Even Korra was actually not mentally prepared for everything that she was doing. They're really mature series for what where they're on and stuff like that. And
yeah,
but that's when I think you can enjoy actually anything, when anybody can enjoy it for different aspects of the creativity of it, whether it's story wise or maturity or just the animation. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, they did such a good job. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
What about Trevor? Do you like the series?
Oh yeah, I watched all of Korra. It was a lot of fun. Cassandra's like, you need to watch it. I was like, okay. And then once we got into it, I was like, okay, let's put on another episode.
Now, is it still going, or is it complete? Her saga is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 seasons, and it's done skis.
Yeah.
Okay, so since this is more of a movie talk show, how did you feel about The Last Airbender?
Excuse me while she's vomiting. I'm holding her hair back. Just 1 second.
I was like, should I ask that? Oh God.
So if you want to have good conversation and we be positive people, we should probably change the subject now.
Right. All right. Let's
turn on halfway through your podcast and be like, this sucks. They just knock movies.
Yeah.
When people just say negative things about movies, it's like,
right.
If you didn't like it, don't talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
So we shouldn't talk about it.
Shouldn't talk about it, but in saying that, I like that they attempted to make the movie.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Right. The fact that they give credit to the creators by actually wanting to make it, that says a lot.
Exactly. I really hope they come up with another live action one though, and that it's maybe starring Cassandra Ebner or whatever.
Right.
Or whatever.
And then they pronounce the name right and stuff. So let's move on.
I just think it would have been handy if the people had that were making the movie had ever seen the show.
Yeah,
right? Like, you're basing this off something that already exists, right? Like,
something that comes up a lot in filmmaking is because someone will have a remake of a film or a remake of a movie or the movie version of a TV show, and I could totally see where they're coming from because they go, well, I just don't. This needs to be our thing, and we need to make it its standalone thing, so we should ignore the source material. It's like, but you still have an audience that you need to
satisfy.
Satisfy.
Yeah, because especially let's talk about let's say Ghostbusters. Have you seen that, the new one?
Yeah, we both saw it.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I went and saw it without you.
Ooh, man.
Okay, I've seen it, so let's talk about it.
Okay. Well, that movie, it got a lot of attention because, people were saying that the public was being anti-feminist and things like that, but the movie wasn't good. And in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about it, Cassie, and it has nothing to do with it was an all-female cast, and like what you said, I just think that they were trying to do their own thing so much to the point that they were ignoring what people loved originally about it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the same thing that we said about the Star Wars prequels. Like, you have to give us something about what we loved about it, or else it's something we're not going to love.
Well, like not having seen the movie, but right from the get-go, their advertising campaign didn't include the Ghostbusters song or logo, I think. Not even the logo in the original. And then people were like, what is this? Then they finally were like, okay, I guess we need to have that stuff.
Yeah, and the marketing campaign was actually super weird because from the beginning they were like, this is not a continuation, this is a reboot, we're creating the whole thing over again. And then the first teaser trailer, the trailer is like 30 years ago. New York City, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait a minute, why would you refer back to the original movie if it has nothing to do with it? Like, the marketing was so bad.
It's just very inconsistent.
Yeah, and I did get a couple of laughs, and I thought that it was actually, like, pretty, like, you know, nice to look at.
Yeah.
But there was really no content to it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Like, it wasn't like it was this is an amazing standalone movie. I thought it was fun. Like, I was like, I'm entertained. But it wasn't like I would go home and be like, guys, this is such a good movie. Let's go watch it. Blah,
You
blah,
wouldn't
blah,
write
blah.
home about it, right?
Yeah, there wasn't the love, but I was entertained.
Right. So let's move on. I'll just ask you a couple of more quick questions here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. As far as you know, like in TVs and movies, obviously there's going to be makeup effects, right? Mm-hmm. As stunt performers or actors, what was the longest you've ever been under makeup effects, and what was your favorite makeup? I know that, Cassie, you had a really heavy makeup for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it was, I think the first day was 10 hours.
Oh, wow.
And it was full body prosthetics. So my entire body was done in that 10 hours, painted, glued, wigged. Yeah, so it's including the wig.
Did you have to get a body cast, or they just did it on your body?
They did a face cast.
Okay.
And then because we were all sort of similar sizes to the main Children of the Forest, they used her body measurements, and we just used copies of what they were putting on her body.
Gotcha. And then they just fill in any blanks.
It was like panels. It wasn't like a suit you slip on.
No,
it's individual panels. So
yeah, so there was like a panel for the back. There was a panel for a couple panels for the front.
Yeah,
and
that's convenient.
For the arms. So it was partially our own skin and also what they put over top of us.
And then they just kind of filled in the blanks, like painting and doing the rest in makeup.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Like attached them. And they had like these, I can't remember what they were called. I think they were called fillers. So like they'd put the panels on, but they would kind of connect it so you couldn't see where the edges were. So they'd use these, what they called fillers, these really like almost Band-Aid size things that were kind of the texture of the skin, and they would put it there and blend it all so you didn't know where the seams were.
Interesting. What about you, Trevor? Did you ever undergo any makeup?
I'm trying to think of, I've had a few prosthetics put on now and then, and I had one on one of the Stargate series where they took my eyebrows away and gave me gills around my nose or something, so I looked pretty weird.
That's weird, yeah.
The eyebrows being taken away was really interesting because it's not something you normally see. And the funny thing about prosthetics is if you get prosthetics on and you're getting prosthetics on with your friends, you look at them every morning, you see them, and then you all get it on and you look at each other. But if you're not the person on set with prosthetics and you shoot for a long period of time, your friends get in before you and they get out after you. So you only ever see them in prosthetics.
Yeah.
And I remember working on X-Men 3. There's a whole bunch of people in prosthetics to be mutants that were just stunt people. A lot of it was cut from the movie. But Nick Barrett had the craziest, funniest prosthetic. He looked like a superhero. Like his face had a big jaw and big cheekbones, and he just looked like an action figure. And I only ever saw him looking like that every day for 2 months. And Nick Barrett played the bad guy in Croft that beats up Cassandra in the one scene, for reference to anyone who's seen Croft.
Okay.
Anyway, one weekend we all went out for dinner or something, and it was just so weird to see everyone's faces again because you just now associated this new face with them.
Right.
And that's, I don't know. I haven't done enough prosthetics and big long glue-ins to have a good story, but that's when I think of prosthetics. I just think of how you see the person through it eventually. It's really a weird experience.
Totally.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And actually, I love makeup effects. Like I'm obsessed with Face Off, the show, and I have actually done sculpting and stuff myself. It's just super fun. And like for Halloween at work, I usually kind of go all out. Last year I did like a Wolfman thing, and I actually applied hair in my face. And it was really fun. But anyway, thank you guys. That was cool. That was interesting. I love the way that you guys see things differently. That's really interesting.
Thank you.
Now, just a simple question: to be a wizard or a Jedi to be?
Do you want to go first?
I think, I guess Jedi's the obvious one. But what kind of wizard?
Like Gandalf the Grey type of thing? Like, I don't know. You shall not pass.
Make or break us.
Or like Harry Potter type of wizard?
Oh, get my Leviosa on.
I don't know. This is so hard.
There's different qualities to different things. I think, I'm a Star Wars fan. It's so obvious to say Jedi when you spring that one, but just let me think about it, because the thing is if I'm a wizard, I don't know, it'd be really handy to be able to make a bunch of brooms dance around and things else like in Fantasia. That's way more useful than, air choking someone from a distance.
That's true.
A passive person.
But as a Jedi, couldn't you mind trick people to clean for you?
Yeah, but that's mean to the people.
That's true. I got you.
Is like a kind thing, and
you can tell I'm going down the dark path here.
Well, we know what you would want.
You're like totally like a Sith, not a.
Yeah, I just totally went to the dark side of the Force. Yeah, but you could just control people.
I just like the idea that you're like yes. If I was a Sith, I would have people clean my house.
Maybe you're not that bad of a Sith, know?
Don't underestimate the power of the dark side.
But I think, Jedi would be my answer.
Jedi, sounds good. Cassie?
I'd have to say a wizard.
A wizard? What kind of wizard? Who would you study under as an apprentice?
Gandalf, come on.
Gandalf, yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably do Voldemort, but let's not go there. That's the same type of answer.
Wow.
The one thing, though, is the handy thing about being a wizard is one of my favorite lines from the Lord of the Rings is a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. I could use that a lot in my life. Yeah. So that gives you that wizard out.
Yeah, definitely. I just quoted that the other day, and I got looked at like I was weird, and I was like, damn, I have to get better at identifying non-nerds. Because it just never works out. Good answers there. But yeah, like I guess, and a wizard probably has a wider reach of powers, right? Like you can do more as a wizard than you could do as a Jedi.
I think there's the potential, but then in the series, Jedis also have the potential to be more as long as they're willing to give everything up. Is that correct?
To go to the dark side.
Well, I think there's pros and cons to both. There's a fair balance.
Definitely.
Don't you need to collect mana to be able to like?
That's in video games. As a wizard,
you have to refill your mana.
Hey, I don't know.
Hey, but playing the Force Unleashed, I also have to wait until like my Force power charges up. But I don't think that's the same.
I would also just like to point out, if you guys are going the Jedi route, you can't be in relationships, so I think you're also picking celibacy for the rest of your life.
Oh man, Trevor.
Just letting you guys know, reminding you.
I stand by my choice.
I stand by the Sith.
You should see her face right
now. Just remember that after this is over, you're still going to be there with her. So.
Well, all right. I'm going to wizarding school, everybody.
I think your time has passed. You probably didn't receive that letter in time. So you heard my pretty bad Yoda impression. You think I would be good at it since I'm voiceover talent, but can you do any impressions?
Depends on who.
I know who you can do.
Who should I do?
You can do Mr. Walken.
Oh.
Go for it.
Well, I need a subject to begin.
Okay, talk about being a wizard over a Jedi.
Well, the first thing you need to know about wizards are powerful beings and frighten me. I met one once on the train. He told me he was a wizard.
Oh, that's awesome.
I believed him, of course. Wizards are powerful beings, whereas every Jedi I've ever met was just a guy in a bathrobe with a glowing stick. And if the batteries weren't charged enough, I was not scared of pimpled faces. Whereas wizards come from, like, dark forces that are very concerning to me.
That is awesome.
Monkeys without diapers can be frightening as well. Because they can fling poo at any time, and that's part of a Christopher Walken impersonation is tangents. I'm sorry, you have to tangent.
Hey, I get it. That was awesome.
I don't think I can follow anything up with that. Don't ask me.
That was so great. Cassie, is there any impression or impersonation that you can do?
I don't think so. I don't really do impersonations. Sometimes. What about?
I'm trying to think.
I did one of What's Her Face the other day, but I don't think I could do it again unless I heard her.
What's her face?
The girl from, she's a comedian. Her, when she's like, do you remember? No, I can't remember her name right now. The one who wrote the movie and she starred in it.
Amy Schumer?
Yeah, I can do an Amy Schumer, but I'd have to hear her voice.
So it's not like on demand like Trevor?
No, you get literally, I could just be like, do this one, and he'd do it. It's
like how often does he practice that? Because it was just like on point, no warm up, no nothing.
I know.
I've been known to do probably the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, and I also like to do Bane.
Oh my gosh!
From the most recent movie, it's good. It's good party tricks. So let me see.
Gotham, take control. Take control of your city. This is the instrument of your liberation. Identify yourself to the world.
That's amazing. It's so good.
You would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
Such a good voice. And I remember when the movie started, I was like, what the and then by the end of the movie, I was like, that voice is just awesome. I really like it. And you're good at that one too, Trevor. What else do you got? No, it's just because I had a mug here. Oh, so it was just like, okay, I'll do that. I just cup my hands over my mouth and do it. Bane is simple. You just do Gandalf, but you said you do it into a mug.
No, it's not Gandalf, it's Decker Kane from Diablo.
I think it's Gandalf because a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. And then you do it with a cup and, a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. And then it's Bane in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And then the Joker is like, no, I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? You want to know how I got these scars? My dad was a drinker, and one day he goes crazier than usual. Nice.
So, Mr. J, I don't know.
There you go, Harley.
I think that we just gotta go find the bee, and then when we, kill him, we'll be, together forever.
There it is. You gotta practice more your accent.
Yeah, I didn't get the accent there.
But the inflations are perfect. I like that.
Is it the Boston accent? Boston. Is that what it is?
Boston. Yeah.
We gotta get some coffee kind of thing?
Yeah.
Coffee. Okay, Mr. J, so we're gonna go get some coffee after, and then we'll go kill the bee. We'll be fine.
That's great.
Is that getting better?
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay, I'm happy.
If Robin is the adopted son of Batman, does that make him a son of the bee?
Well, I guess Damian Wayne is the son of the bee, right? So that was good. Now, following that up, have you guys ever considered voice acting?
I think we play with it, but there's been some times where I've been like, maybe this is what I want to do with my life because I'm really dramatic like that. Mm-hmm. But I think that that involves so much commitment and education as well. And I don't know if I'm ready to put that into when I want to do all these other things.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like I did like my commercial promo demo type of stuff. And then I was like, but what about characters? But what about animation? But what about the trailer voice guy? And then I was like, oh, God, there's too much crap. What am I going to do? And then you need a demo for everything if you're going to market yourself. And demos are not cheap.
Well, trailer guy, what's your best in a world?
It's funny. I don't think I can go as deep as Don, but in a world.
That was pretty awesome.
That's in a world.
Gotta get this guy to do our trailers.
There you go.
Yeah. Let me know. I'm down.
In a world where trailers are needed.
Except
but voiceovers are needed for trailers.
But voiceovers are needed for trailers. It's funny because for my demo, I recorded it was a Clash of Clans, and it was like, Clash of Clans, you win this army. And then I was like, I'm not comfortable doing that. And he's like, but you sound awesome.
It does sound really awesome. I was like, I'm buying it.
I was like, but it's too low. And he's like, no, it's perfect. Ignore what you're feeling. I was like, what the hell?
Well, it's funny because with anything that people are naturally good at, I find it's something that people get anxious about, because by being naturally good at it, it takes no effort, so it can't be right, and you just get it right, and you're like, no, that is
right.
Not. It's almost like if it's too easy, it can't be good, or it just doesn't sound right in your head, but other people are like, oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you mean, because that's exactly how I felt. I was like, I don't know, that doesn't sound like what I usually hear, and they're like, and the director was like, no, that sounds great. Let's do it a couple more times so that we can, get a good take. But it's enjoyable. Voiceovers are fun. That's kind of what I wanted to ask you guys, especially you. You're good at impersonations, and there's actually a market for that, believe it or not. All right, so one more random question, and that is, do you collect anything?
Lives? I mean, what?
Souls.
Just kidding. I have obsessions. Like, I buy a lot of bathing suits. It's kind of weird.
That's a collection, I guess.
I buy, like, nerdy things. Like, sometimes if I like a figurine or, like, a nerdy outfit, they'll never end up wearing it, but it goes in my costume closet, and then I make all these costumes.
But you cosplay, right?
Yeah, I cosplay.
So
there's a reason for it.
There's a reason for it. Like when you're looking through your credit card charges, and Trevor's like, what the? There's a reason for it, Trevor.
There's a reason, I swear.
This is important.
What about Trevor? Do you collect anything at all?
Not intentionally.
Star Wars t-shirts?
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. It's without effort. It's just like Star Wars t-shirts I have a lot of, but it's just like, oh, there's one. That looks cool. And not like I need to add to my collection. It's like hoarding kind of thing where it's not an obsession. I don't need it, but it'll be like, oh, there's a good one. I bought this shirt. And she'll be like, another Star Wars shirt. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I guess I have some of those, huh? The other thing, but particularly Stormtrooper shirts I have more than anything else Star Warsy.
That's pretty awesome. I'm actually wearing Stormtrooper socks right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys romancing so hard. It's
fun
so
fact. Trevor and I are just going to become best friends now, and I probably won't talk to Cassie anymore. All right, guys. Well, I won't take any more of your time. Are you guys currently working on anything that you'd like to tell us about?
Am I allowed to say anything? I guess there's no information's given.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm working on the Death Note movie based on the Japanese manga and anime.
Mm.
So that's cool. It's for Netflix. And then going to go and work on a Disney TV series that I worked on earlier this year is going to season 2. It's not out yet. It's called Mech X4. And I'm the biggest fan of this kids show, which is going to be amazing when everyone finally sees it, and I get to go work on it again in September. So
yeah,
awesome. And is that going to be like on Disney XD or like on what?
I don't know. I guess Disney XD. It's about a giant robot, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, that sounds
X4.
Cool.
Keep your eyes open. I don't know where
All right. Well, Cassie, what about you? Nothing?
You sure jumped fast to nothing.
Yeah, you were working on a really cool show.
I was working on a series of unfortunate events, which was really cool.
The series?
The series.
Yeah.
That's
with
with
NPH?
Yes, he was on it and was. I did not meet him though.
Oh God, I'm super excited about that series. Isn't it starting soon?
I don't know. They just finished filming, so then it'll have to go into post because they'll probably release it all at once. So I don't know when it's going to come out.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me today here. And Cassie, Trevor, where can everybody find you online?
I can be found online on my YouTube channel, Nerds, NERDZRL, or my Instagram, which is NERDZ4L. And then, Trevor, you have an Instagram.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly. It's like Trevor Addie White Ninja.
You don't even remember your username?
And by Z, she means Z, guys.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Canadian times.
Z is the same thing.
Do you have a
I'm
fan
Trevor
page?
Addie White Ninja on Instagram.
Gotcha. All right,
Yeah.
so guys, go follow these people. They're cool peoples.
Aw, thank you so much for having us on your show.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for joining me. I've been holding the show just for you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I've been super busy with stuff, and I actually got a wisdom tooth removed, so I could hardly talk for more than 10 minutes at a time without being in pain.
Oh no.
So, but yeah, definitely thank you, and I will let you guys know when this is up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview with Cassandra Ebner and Trevor Addie, both really awesome stunt performers. So if you enjoyed them, follow them on their social media sites that they provided for you. And for me, you can look me up on youtube.com, HH Movie Reviews for my movie reviews, or you can find me at jmvoiceovers.com.